Howdy, folks. How about them Buccaneers? What's going on today, y'all? This is the post-fantasy football power play football show. We're thankful that you guys are joining us tonight. We are live streaming on Facebook Live and our Positions on Sports Talk Show YouTube channel. Also, check us out on Twitch and all of your podcasting platforms. Of course, as customary, you know we are the sports talk show made for the fans from the perspective of fans, presented by lifelong sports fans. We will provide you our opinions and positions on the hottest topics in sports. Every Thursday night, we come at you at 7 p.m. for the post-power play fantasy football show. We will discuss all the news from around the world of fantasy football. We will highlight the most popular players, trades, injury reports, sensible picks, top dogs, sleepers, quick hits, quiet storm, and of course, the closers. I am Professor J, and I'm joined tonight by my APA tag team partner, Big Reg and Sense. What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
Yes, sir. So we about to blaze tonight because we know y'all getting ready for kickoff. Y'all probably already got your wings, your pizza, all your things you're going to be dipping and tossing and all that kind of stuff. And like T.O. said, get your popcorn ready because them Cowboys are going down tonight.
Wow, you starting already.
You know we got to do it. So, all right, sit back and relax and just let us blaze like we normally do. All right, everybody. So let's start off with the power play injury reports. Ooh. So you guys know the long list, so we won't exhaust those with you tonight. We'll just talk about some key positions and key teams that are missing some players, and then the fellas are going to sprinkle in some of the players that they think will be missed this week as people get ready to play in week one. So we gotta start off, fellas, with the Ravens. And it's a shame because it seemed like for the last 3 weeks on all of our shows, we had to dive into the Ravens and their industry news.
I mean, they can't seem to catch a break, man. I told y'all this offline. It's just like, man, good thing they got Le'Veon when they did.
Yeah, somebody getting fired in the tank. Yeah. Speak on that. Who getting fired, Big Reg? Who getting fired?
You cannot have your number 1, 2, and 3 running back go down from injury in a 12-day span. 2 with ACLs, 1 with an Achilles, and then you lost one of your top cornerbacks.
Mm-hmm.
So either somebody in the training staff getting fired, or a coach who's running the practice is getting fired. But trust and believe, Steve Bisciotti is not going to look at this and say everything's good. When you get ready to start a season, and they're going to have to change their offense.
Yeah. And heads got to roll.
So, yeah.
You got that right. And they just signed Devonta Freeman today as well.
Yeah, that was a sleeper. Both Freeman and Le'Veon were up there Monday, both trying out, and they both end up getting signed. What's interesting, though, I don't see why they didn't go after the running back that just got released from New Orleans because he wouldn't take a pay cut.
Oh, Murray. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That's who I would have signed.
Yeah. He going to get picked up real soon. He might end up
and he might still end up in Baltimore.
He might end up with the Rams, too. That's too. That could utilize his services. And I'm not sure. I guess there's something there because I'm not sure why he wouldn't take the pay cut, because the Saints quiet as kept are making some moves to stay relevant, not only in their division, but around the NFL. That's why it's going to really pinpoint how Jameson plays this year. But Gus Evans.
Back to the Ravens injury real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever has Mr. Jackson in their fantasy league, get ready for a huge year.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's going to be all on his shoulders. I mean, they're going to figure out the running game somewhat because it's been the number 1 running game since he's been the starting quarterback.
Right.
But that's going to take a little step back, which means he's going to have to throw it more often and run it more often than they were planning. So Lamar Jackson's going to have a monster season stats-wise. I don't know how it's going to work wins and losses, but he's gonna have a monster season stat-wise.
He's in my picks. Stay tuned.
Okay. Yeah, way to tease that. Yeah, tough break for Gus Edwards, man, because I think he was getting ready to have an outstanding season.
Was he?
And to see him go down in that fashion, and they're not sure yet if it might be season ending, but at least for week 1, he won't be there. So stay tuned on what happens with that. The other news in running back heaven going around the league is Austin Eckler, because he's been dealing with that hamstring injury, and we all know that those can linger around. He's still, as of this week, been doing sideline work and not really a full go in practice. And Austin Eckler is the cat, because I think they now have the offensive coordinator from New Orleans that's there now, and they're saying Austin Eckler will be getting touches similar to my boy Alvin Kamara. What you guys think about that?
So, one thing I want to mention, pick wise, if like Eckler's not good to go for week 1, if you haven't hit your waiver wire already, look for Justin Jackson. That's the other back in LA, and he can do just about the same as what Eckler could do. Of course, Eckler's a bit better, but as far as if you need a running back, definitely pick him up.
Okay. So since jumping down to who he's starting and all that stuff.
No. I'm just saying for those in need of if you have Eckler on your roster, and if he's not good to go for week 1, pick his backup up, so you're not losing in points.
Okay. What you think, Big Reg?
A running back with a hamstring problem that he's had since the spring.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds to me that's going to require surgery. If you're dealing with a hamstring since the spring, you're talking about several months.
Yeah, and
that means something needs to be fixed.
Right.
So I think he'll get on the field, but the chances of a hamstring holding up, where he's got to go full at a run, any position on the NFL, you got to go all out. But as a running back, when that's the most physical position you play, besides offensive defensive linemen, because they're hitting every down. So if you can't explode, you send up.
Yeah.
That changes the Chargers equation. That whoever their backup has got to be able to play a lot, or they just going to be airing it out, and we might see our first 6,000-yard passer this year.
I mean, it's not far-fetched, but you also have Joshua Kelly in the backfield too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a couple of quick points. That sounds eerily similar to one Curtis Samuel for the Washington football team, who has had a groin injury since the spring, and he hasn't been able to be a full participant in preseason. And he's still listed as questionable for Sunday, which he probably won't play. He has no real practice time, no real preseason time. Yeah, if you have him, I know he's been a gem to pick up for some fantasy football leagues, but if you got him, you might as well sit him for a little while. Go ahead.
Real quick on Samuels. I was watching the Washington football team little show broadcast, and they said he was actually out on the field yesterday while the reporters was there, and he lasted just a few minutes and limped back off the field.
Wow.
Not a good sign.
Wow.
Not a good sign.
Yeah. And Mike, if you're listening out there, we already gave the report on your quarterback, Mr. Jackson, because you have him on ATL's finest. So, we wish you well with that. But definitely when we get our head-to-head, I'm coming for you. But and I see something in the chat. Well, Murray has been more durable over the last couple of years, because remember, he was splitting the backfield with Kamara, and even before that, you had Ingram on the team as well. So Murray hasn't been as injury prone as he has in the past. So that's a cat I would still take a flyer on if he got on my team and was available to pick up. At least have him on the bench ready for the bye week, or he could be a viable running back too on your team. So don't sleep on Murray, because he can carry that rock.
Somebody will snatch him up.
Yeah.
I wonder how much how much of a
I
pay
know.
cut they wanted him to take. Because it wasn't like he was making big money. I think he was like $3.5 million. Wow. And he said no. So they must have told him you got to play for the vet minimum or something. That's the only way you can just walk away.
Right. Right.
Because if an NFL team comes to you with that question, it's not a question. It's either do you want to be on the team or not.
Right. Here's how it's going to go. Basically.
Might have to eat some humble pie, but ain't nothing wrong with that every now and again. J3, we see you. Yeah, Drew Brees is a natural. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard him speak and kind of commentate, but he was a shoe-in for that. But he knew he was getting that job, before he took the pads off. So definitely wishing my boy Drew luck. That's my
shout out to her.
Shout out to Maria. Yeah. Good for her. She better stay where she need to be. That's all I got to say. Too much controversy swirling around. So hopefully all that stuff can die down and people can move on with their lives. But that's for another show. Dak is on the field. See, J3 giving us play-by-play when he should be on the show with us. But thanks, J3. We'll keep reading your comments live on the air. The next injury is Bears running back Tariq Cohen. He still is dealing with that knee injury that he's been dealing with. So I know a lot of people had high hopes for him, but maybe that's something that'll keep him sidelined for a little while. We generally don't put linemen on here, but it's worth mentioning that Zach Martin, the Pro Bowl All-Pro guard for the Cowboys, is out due to illness. We'll just say illness. And this is significant both for the running and the pass game. And then they're playing that nasty defense tonight from Tampa Bay. So I'm not telling you guys what to do, but if you have Ezekiel starting, you might want to be concerned. If you got Dak starting, you might want to be a little bit concerned. Chiefs starting Pro Bowl safety Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, is also out due to illness. So not to put y'all to sleep, but this league plays defense. So for all the other leagues that play defense, this is significant because, he's a ball hawk all over the field, pissed off that other people getting paid more money than he is. So, he plays with a chip on his shoulder. That is a safety that you need out there on the field. So certainly going up against the Browns this weekend, they will miss him, being in that Chiefs backfield. So playing accordingly. Patriots tight end Hunter Henry is listed as probable due to a shoulder injury, but expected to suit up on Sunday. That is significant because, Bill likes to run his 2 tight end sets. He likes to create havoc as well as having a running back that can catch out the backfield. So Mac Jones is going to have plenty of opportunities to hit the weapons that he now has at his disposal on this offense. So expect Hunter to play. Expect him to get quite a few targets. And I think that shoulder will hold up as long as he doesn't take a devastating hit on it. And then last but not least, we just mentioned him. That's Curtis Samuel. He's listed as questionable, but if you have him on your team, don't expect him to play. So you might as well keep him on the bench. Stash him away because I think at some point, probably mid-season, he'll be healthy and he'll be out there wreaking havoc, especially if this team is doing well with Fitzmagic slinging the ball. Adding him to Scary Terry and Gibson and Logan Thomas. Oh my gosh, y'all. Can we be talking about the resurgence of a new Washington football team offense?
God, I hope so.
we'll try not to let our homerism show too much. We try to have some deference here. All right, so let's reach down to the top dogs for this week. So this was interesting for me, fellas. Usually when we're in the midst of a season, I'll give you one person in each category. But since we're starting out, I was tempted to give the folks 3 skill position players in each position. So let me just rapid fire those off to you. And then once I'm done with the list, you guys can hit me with anything you disagree with, agree with, and your commentary. So for quarterbacks, top dogs this week, I have Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Jalen Hurts. For running backs, I got Raheem Mostert, Alvin Kamara, and Dalvin Cook. For wide receivers, I have Julio Jones, Devontae Adams, and T. Higgins. And tight ends, I have Travis Kelce, Logan Thomas, and George Kittle. What say you?
My only issue is with your running backs. I'm surprised you didn't put Antonio Gibson in that on that list.
And let me tell you why Mostert made it, because maybe that's the one that you take issue with. The Detroit Lions gave up the most fantasy points to running backs last year, and not much has changed on that defense. And for game one, where everybody's trying to get their filling out, San Francisco can come out with guns blazing. So I think Mr. Mostert will have a great game against this Lions defense. That's the reason why I picked him out of other players, such as who you just mentioned. My mind is going so fast. Who you just said?
Gibson.
Yeah, Gibson from Washington Football Team. Yeah, so that's why I put Mostert there, because I think that he'll shine and have the field day that he needs to. Kamara and Dalvin Cook, I mean, you really don't have to give too much of an argument there.
No.
Jameis is going to need an outlet, and that's his best outlet in that offense. And then Dalvin Cook, I mean, has he been saving Kirk, for umpteen years? He's still going to have to rely on him to be that bell cow in that area.
I like you. You went out on the limb with Jalen Hurts. That's a very, very interesting pickup. But I think that you might be on to something.
Yeah, I think
besides just his arm, with his legs, I think he's gonna
it could
have a big game, because it's a brand new offense, so defenses don't know what to expect. So
right,
nice pickup. Right.
And then with Atlanta, you guys know it. Since the Super Bowl, that defense has not been the same. It's been terrible, whether it was injuries or otherwise. They have not looked the same since that Super Bowl.
You're right. And now that Dan Quinn is gone, not that he made much of a difference while he was there. I mean, you don't know what you're getting from this Atlanta defense. So
yeah, and the fact that you brought in an offensive head coach, that usually he's not going to be too concerned so much with the other side so far. I got one that I may have substituted for your wide receivers. Julio, interesting. I don't think Julio's the number one there, though. But Keenan Allen, Chargers, now that you got their star running back down, they're going to throw the ball more this week. Keenan Allen could have a monster game. And if not him, it's going to be Mike Williams. One of them two going to have a monster game.
Yeah.
Okay. So you see Herbert getting the time that he needs against this front for Washington to be able to orchestrate that kind of?
Good question.
I don't think he's going to have a choice. I think he might get beat up. But I think he throws 35 to 40 times this week.
Okay.
If he throws that many times, because I don't think they're going to be able to run against us.
Right.
So,
yeah, if that secondary holds up, probably not. But
and the reason I said Julio is because I feel like straight out the gate, because everybody knows he's not the number one there, I just see him getting a significant amount of targets just to kind of show that, hey, I'm back.
I'm back.
You guys need to fear me on the other side. So I think he'll factor prominently early into that game. He almost made the quick hitters because of that, because I think they'll target him early and he'll get an early score to kind of put the league on notice in that area. But we'll see. But I like the Chargers wide receivers as well. I just don't think he's going to have the time to really get that ball and deliver it like the way we would think.
Don't forget Hunter Henry. I don't know if he's still with the Chargers. I could be wrong, but
no, dude. I just said Patriots.
Yeah, the Patriots signed him.
Yeah, Patriots.
Yeah, they let the tight end go. They had a younger tight end. Hunter Henry wanted to get paid, and they know their money's on the outside with their quarterback, not down the middle of the field. So
right.
Gotcha.
Exactly. All right, I got some sleepers. I hope Ed cleaned the wax out his ears and he listened to this one, because I'm leading off with Ryan Tannehill. And it is because he has those two dynamic wide receivers on the outside. He got that bell cow in the backfield. He is going to surprise a lot of people with his offensive efficiency this year. And I think Ed will become a believer that Tannehill actually can play and he'll stay off his back. Maybe Ed, maybe not, but we shall see. And I got to say the Patriots defense, because I think that with them healthy, nobody's opting out. They know Bill Belichick loves a strong defense. They get takeaways, all of that. I think we're about to see the resurgence of a dominant Patriots defense. They may not be sleepers anymore after this week, but I do believe that they have to show that they are back in this game, this first game, and put the league on notice. So I think a lot of people are just waiting to see when that'll happen. So I got them as a sleeper for this week. And then lastly, and this will make a couple of you guys happy out there, Jonathan Taylor, the running back for the Colts. So your man Carson is going to need a whole lot of help. So Hines and Taylor, they're going to have to help this dude out to make sure that he can plant that foot, run on that foot if he need to, make the passes, all that kind of stuff. So I see Taylor having a really good or decent game, with that coming about.
Jonathan Taylor, a sleeper? The way he finished last year?
Yeah, I think
and
everybody
you got a quarterback that they're going to try to take the pressure off of?
Yeah, Big Reg, you talking, okay, you talking as if you talking to us. A lot of people out there don't even mention Jonathan Taylor. A lot of people in fantasy leagues don't even know who this dude is. And that's just true talk. So that's why we're here to kind of educate the masses. I know y'all looking at the Dalvin Cooks and y'all looking at the Kamaras and y'all looking at the McCaffreys. But this dude, Jonathan Taylor, I know he's for the Colts, but you got to pay attention across the league. And this is definitely one that people don't know much about. In some leagues, it's the dude that's still there on the board. And they're like, oh, Jonathan Taylor. Look at his stats. He had a pretty good year last year.
If you want a bell cow back,
man. All right.
He can do it all.
You heard it here.
Run it. He can do it all. I got a sleeper for you running back. Now, this is a name people don't know. Tyson Williams.
All right. Go ahead and tell the people. Go ahead and tell the people.
Tyson Williams he was on the Baltimore Ravens practice squad all last year. He will be RB1 for the number one rushing offense. While they may not rush as well as they did, this young dude, 6 feet, 220 pounds, is a little bit of a monster, and this is his time. He might prove to be, that diamond in the rough that just never got his shot. So that's my sleeper. Your boy Deandre Swift is always hurt. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He was hurt in college.
Right.
He always hurt.
Yeah, you got to bench him.
So off that list, you better bench Deandre Swift. Please do yourself a favor.
Yeah. One other sleeper at running back that is not getting a lot of talk, but had a beast of a preseason. And I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong. His last name is Stevenson, but he plays for the Patriots, Ramondre or something like that. Like he was high on a lot of people's list as a rookie who's going to have a breakout season. So, yeah.
That's good advice because the Patriots made room for him in the backfield as well. So that's definitely so. And Bill makes wise decisions. Don't like him, but he makes wise decisions. So anytime he makes a move to free up space to keep a player, then that's got to be something that you want to pay attention to. So good pull there. See, we giving y'all hard-hitting knowledge about lesser-known players that you're going to see pop up in the near future. All right, so let's go to our quick hits. So this won't surprise anybody. Well, one of them might. So I got wide receiver Stephon Diggs, quick hits. Y'all know what he can do. Deep threat, cross the middle threat, bunch of yak, all that kind of stuff. And he got my quarterback, so he going to be slinging to him and getting it to him real quick. Defensive end, Chase Young. I got him as a quick hitter because right out the gate, I think just like up there with the TJ Watts and those boys, he's going to hit the ground, the Bosas. He's going to come out of the gate fast. He's going to get him a couple of sacks Sunday. He's going to make sure his presence is felt on that defensive line. So look out for him to get some quick hits on Sunday. And then this last one, fellas, I'm going to get y'all. Desean Jackson, wide receiver for the Rams.
I ain't mad.
Let me tell you why. Every year, Desean Jackson, what he do in the first 4 games? He seems like he the best dude on the field. He be blazing everything before he come up with a hammy.
Or he pull a hamstring, yeah.
Right, exactly. So this is why he's under quick hits. Y'all follow me now because he's going to be there. Who he guys throwing the ball to him? Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford can throw that long ball. So look for him to get some targets and to make at least one deep catch this weekend for a quick hit to get you some quick fantasy points. And that's why I put him there. He may never be here again, but for week 1, I got D-Jax being that dude for a quick hit on Sunday.
Can I add one quick hit in real quick?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You mentioned his name. And this had nothing to do with fantasy, but I just got to say, good Lord. TJ Watt, 4 years, 112 million, 80 guaranteed.
Yeah.
Up front.
Right.
Yeah. He's doing something right.
That's right. Look, was it Big Ben speaking up for him? They got him paid.
Probably.
And the rumor is that his representation didn't want him to take that deal, but he did. He's the player. He's in control. He said, "No, it's time to play. That's good enough for me. My first big contract is bigger than my big brother's first big contract, so I'm good. I'm the highest paid defensive player in the league. I'll take it." He walked upstairs to the owner's office and said, "We got a deal."
That's it.
I mean, come on. One household, $200+ million players.
Mm-hmm.
That's the watch.
How about that? How about that? They rolling in it. Yeah.
I got another quick hit real quick.
Uh-huh.
He's kind of falling off in some people's eyes, but not in mine. Antonio Brown. Definitely don't sleep on him.
Actually, they saying even though he's down as receiver 3, that Brown could actually have his best year in the last 3 or 4 years. So the people like us and the experts understand that he's due for an outstanding year. But other folks have buried him as receiver 3. But I actually think he's going to shine this year too. And I know that's your guy. I personally, I don't like him, but as a football player, I think he will shine this year. Let's pivot real quick because J3 just put something out there. Tyrod Taylor will be the starter for the Houston Texans. Now, we know that he was starting out in San Diego. He was doing a pretty good job, but he had the medical thing with the doctor puncturing his lung, and now he's in Houston. Many people actually think this is a good position for him to shine as a QB1. What do you guys think about that?
I think so. I've always liked Tyrod Taylor. I think he always had the speed. He was always like a threat to, a dual threat, even before the term was popular. I think being under the radar in Houston, and especially playing with low expectations, I think he's going to exceed them and have a good year.
Okay.
I think the Texans are a dumpster fire. And the only people, unfortunately, that are going there are people who still want to start, but have very limited opportunities other places. So it gives you a chance to showcase if you still got it or not. But that organization is right now in total turmoil. When you got the biggest name in your organization's history ass out of there, and I'm not talking about Deshaun. I'm talking about JJ. When JJ Watt say I got to get up out of here,
man, that tells you all you needed to know.
That tells you everything you need to know about what's going on upstairs above them. And then you got the new GM who comes from the New England organization. And how many of those have left New England and done well? You got 1 or 2?
Yeah.
And the ones that tend to do well do it in their personality, not trying to mimic New England to a T. Right. So I wish him luck, but I wouldn't. My personal suggestion to everybody out there in fantasy land, I wouldn't take anybody on the Texans unless you're taking somebody on their defense, because their defense is going to be out there a lot. That's just me.
True story. What you say, Sans?
I was going to say I also feel sorry for Cully, I think his name is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, your first head coaching opportunity, and this is it.
Yeah. Yeah. And trust me, yeah, we know what a dumpster fire looks like in this area. So when an organization is poor, as Houston is right now, then they need to make some wholesale changes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now going to the quiet storm. So I have two. Now this one gonna get the conversation started. My first one is quarterback Taysom Hill, and the reason for the Saints is because he's that all-purpose back. He's that Swiss Army knife that they can throw in there. Sean Payton is going to use him a lot. I know Kyle Shanahan tried to play a little bit, throwing two quarterbacks out there. But lo and behold, I think Payton is going to do that two quarterback shifting more than people think that he might. Especially if Jameson starts struggling a little bit, he's definitely going to mix in more of Taysom Hill. But I think even in week one, he has his standard package plays that I think he'll be sent out there to do. And I think he'll do some damage. Now, those of you who have Alvin Kamara, who snatched him from me, right? I'm not going to name any names, but he on live right now. But those that took Alvin Kamara in their league, be careful because Taysom Hill might be inserted in the red zone to do the quarterback draws and things of that nature. And he may take touchdowns away from Mr. Alvin Kamara. So pay attention to that this season if you have Alvin Kamara as your running back. And then last one, because I only did two in this area, Jadavion Clowney for the Browns. Mm-hmm. I think with having Myles Garrett on the other side, now you got a hungry, healthy Clowney on that other side. Man, I think that Browns defense is going to wreak havoc. This is part of the reason why I picked the Browns to win that division. I like the Ravens, but I picked the Browns to win that division because of the additions on offense on defense, and their offense is getting a shot back from Odell Beckham, and their two running backs are just nasty in that backfield.
Mm-hmm.
I have a quiet storm to add to you, and this will make y'all's day.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Humphries, Washington football team.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah.
We just talked about the wide receiver they brought in to be the number 2.
Yeah.
Probably is going to play. Adam Humphries played with Fitzpatrick before.
Mm-hmm.
So they already have a chemistry. And they're gonna put him in the slot, put one of those young big receivers, Cam Sims or Damani Brown, one of them on the outside. That's gonna leave him, and you got to take the tight end because he's playing like one of the top 5-6 tight ends in the league.
Right.
That's gonna leave Humphries a lot of one-on-one in the slot.
Ooh,
Just
he can be another Cole Beasley when he was in his prime.
Just give me y'all a little something.
Did you say Cole Beasley?
In his prime.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Cole Beasley
in his prime.
Even though he played for that other team, but yeah, Cole Beasley. Yes, sir.
And he's going to be available on probably 80%
mm-hmm.
of the leagues, if not more.
Right. All right, so pay attention out there. Pick them up if you need. That was a good pull. Oh my goodness. We got some great ones tonight, y'all. That was a great pull. All right, let me move down to our closers so we can make way for the man of the hour with his sensible picks. So the closers that I came up with this week, Joe, you're gonna like this, of course, is Russell Wilson. Then I got Trey Lance, and I'm going to explain Trey Lance, and then, of course, Matthew Stafford. So Trey Lance, because I think the 49ers are playing against, again, the Detroit Lions, and I think that this is a perfect opportunity, whether Jimmy is playing well or not, for Kyle to mess around with some things and see what Trey Lance can do in certain situations. I do not expect this to be a close game. So I expect the 49ers to dominate early, so it'll allow Kyle to do some things with Trey in the game and see how that works out against one of the G League teams in the NFL. So that's why I put Trey Lance as a closer in that situation. I mean, Russ, between week 1 and 8, you can expect him to cook. After that, certain games can fall off the rails. But week 1 through 8, Russ gonna cook, whether he got to run for his life or not. And then Matthew Stafford, wearing that Rams uniform, feeling good that he's not in Detroit anymore. Already said what he gonna do with D-Jax. Man, he has a nice offensive scheme and players around him. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. I mean, the dude is going to pass.
Opportunity for him to succeed. He has already made teams, sort of similar to what Brady had with Tampa Bay.
Yes, it's going to be nice.
Trust and believe the coach is going to do everything in his capability to make sure that he looks good early on. Because if not, people going to start looking sideways at him.
Right. Right. Amen, brothers. So this is week 1. So no trades to talk about this week. We'll hit you back with some of that next week as you guys are getting your fantasy team started. So now we will make way for the sensible picks. Go ahead, Sense. Take it away.
All right. Let's get it going with this week's sensible picks. We'll start with the for shows, which means the starts. I have Lamar Jackson versus the Raiders. I mean, I don't really got to expound on that. I mean, we talked about it earlier. Jackson's going to have a field day against that squad whose defense is still questionable. I have Jalen Hurts against Atlanta. We talked about that as well. I think he's definitely going to have a stellar showing in his first full season of starting. So, like, if you own Jalen Hurts, like me, like, you're in for a surprise.
So, Sis, give him some numbers. He gonna pass for 300, rush for 1.
I wouldn't go that far. He's gonna run for a respectable
250 and 80.
Okay. 250 and 80.
Respectable. Yeah.
2 touchdowns or 3?
3 total touchdowns. 1 on the ground, 2 in the air.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
He gonna have a good day.
I can see that.
Thanks for the alley-oop, Reg. I got Antonio Gibson against the Chargers.
Okay.
Our formula, Washington's formula is run, early and often and open up their pass. I think, Gibson is good for both them short yardage, them short pass situations, as well as, being that not bell cow, but being that runner who can definitely get you a lot of first downs. Speaking of runner that gets you a lot of first downs, I'm going out on a limb, and I know Big Ed will be happy about this. I got Naji Harris against the Bills.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's been highly spoken about, and I got a good feeling about this dude. He comes from good stock, as you know, Big Reg, Alabama, and you know how Alabama backs do. So
yeah, since he almost made one of my lists. But it's that Buffalo defense that I was like, I don't know if he's really going to have that breakout week that many people would like for him to have. But starting him in a league, either at running back 1 or 2, I don't disagree with that. I'm just wondering what type of showing he's going to have against this Buffalo defense.
We'll see Sunday.
Yeah. I think it might take them 2 to 3, maybe 4 weeks. Because remember, that's pretty much a whole new offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my concern.
Yeah,
Buffalo defense, especially that front 7's good, but I'm more concerned about the Pittsburgh offensive line.
Yeah,
being able to handle that defensive line. So
I hear y'all.
But he's a monster. He is.
I was gonna say he reminds me of like a Barry Sanders in a way where he kind of like he doesn't tackle, he's not an easily tackleable dude. Like he'll definitely try to, find a way to gain more yardage. And I seen it in one play where he like jumped over some dude's head in the game. So
okay, so the Reg bomb made me come up with a compromise. Then this would be safe for all y'all out there. Put him as a flex this week. I think that'd be a safe bet.
Yeah, flex is good. Or RB1, but if you're a little hesitant, flex for sure. If you're, have some reservations, but you're gonna be pleased either way, in my opinion. Next we have Adam Thielen against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Need I say more?
Yeah.
And Tyler Lockett against Indiana. Now for my gimmies, and we just alluded to this. I have De'Ami Brown because with Curtis Samuel being having that injury, that's also an opportunity for Brown to show what he has. Mm-hmm. And I think he can be another threat alongside Scary Terry.
Yeah, I'm very high on him. I agree.
I mean, I saw what he did in the preseason. Like he's primed and ready for a beast out. Yeah. I also like David Montgomery of Chicago. I mean, we already spoke about Tariq Cohen being injured. Montgomery has, been getting a lot of press as that person to start, as that back to start. Some people aren't as high on him, but I think he's a solid RB1 and will get you some points.
Yeah, one thing for sure, he's gonna get a lot of work.
Oh yeah, because their offensive line is horrible.
Yeah, he's gonna get a lot of work.
Oh yeah. Now for my sits.
Mm-hmm.
Now Ed ain't gonna like this one. I have Big Ben sitting against Buffalo. I mean, we just talked about getting the lion's share of the carries. That's going to take away from Big Ben throwing, especially when you got rushes coming at Big Ben fresh off of surgery. I mean, this will be an opportunity for him to show what he got, but I wouldn't advise you starting him because his numbers are going to be low. Justin Herbert against Washington, same reason that I spoke that I gave about Big Ben. I mean, you got that front seven coming at you. Now, we'll see what Herbert is made of if he is able to get any passes off. But you got Sweat, Young. I mean, the list goes on and on. I don't see
Allen Payne.
Yeah, I don't see him getting any daylight, honestly, as far or time throwing. I think that defense is going to strike early and often. And it ain't going to be a good day for Mr. Herbert. I got Allen Robinson against the Rams. Rams defense, especially that secondary, and I got a good feeling that Jalen Ramsey's going to be assigned to him. So you already know the rest of that story. Okay. Kenny Golladay against Denver. I like how Denver's defense, especially the secondary, is shaping up with Patrick Surtain, who's also from
Alabama.
So, I mean, and plus Kenny Golladay he's questionable. So, someone who is kind of like, you don't know if he's healthy to go, and then you put them out there against him, it's not going to end well. Saquon against Denver, same reason. He's coming off that ACL. They're going to try to play him, but I think he's going to be, it's the first game. So
he's going to be on the pitch count.
Right. And last, I have Odell Beckham against Kansas City because Kansas City's top 4 in perimeter defense. And that secondary is nothing to sneeze at. So
I would also add McCaffrey for the same reason as Saquon Barkley. And I know a lot of people pick both of them up. And it's a good pull because it's a long season. We've got an extra game this year, if you've been checking that. But I think to start out, neither one of them will bang this week. And they'll be on pitch count. So be careful with that. The only thing I would say, interject about Big Ben is I'm going to stick to what I said on the show either this week or last week. I think the Steelers, everybody knows their identity is the smash mouth and run the ball. With Big Ben coming back slim and trim, trying to show that he still has it, I really think that they're going to come out slinging the ball early in the game. And if that doesn't work, then I think it falls back to what you just said about them being able to grind the ball and Ben, take the ball out of Ben's hands. But I think out the gate with Claypool, with Juju Smith-Schuster, with but help me out. What's the other guy? Williams? Washington. All those guys, I think Ben is really going to try to throw that ball. And I think once we see if it works or doesn't work, then that'll probably fall back into what you just said.
Yeah, I quietly think Ben is going to actually have a very good season. I think a year removed from that elbow surgery, kind of like Tommy John, we talked about on our Tuesday show, the first year coming back, you don't have the full strength. You also don't have the mental awareness that it's fully healthy. So you play a year, it got weak. He actually did some work to strengthen it. So I think Ben's going to throw for somewhere between 4,500 to 5,500 yards this year. Yeah. So I think they're going to have to throw the ball a lot still, unfortunately.
I totally agree, but I'm just talking about for this game.
Right.
I'm with you. I wouldn't take him for this game.
Because at the end of last year, part of the reason why the Steelers fell off because he was throwing ducks. He couldn't throw a deep ball anymore. It was terrible. But yeah, that's good to go. All right, you got any more for us, Sense? Because we was eating it up.
Nah, that's all I got for this week.
Okay.
But,
all right, that's good to go. And any of y'all out there, if you got Deshaun Watson on your team, he's not playing. So please just sit him. I just felt like I needed to say that to somebody out there. Just getting it off.
Deshaun Watson will not be in an NFL uniform in 2021.
There you go. You heard it here first.
I do have one.
Go ahead.
Another one to throw out just to say, and it's just my personal opinion. As much as I would like for this young man to succeed, and I'm not casting any spread, I just have a funny feeling about Trevor Lawrence. I don't think he's gonna struggle in this first game because he didn't have that good of a except for that last game against Dallas. Sorry, Big Rich.
Yeah. Who's starting Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars?
I hope nobody.
If you're starting Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars, maybe you should pick another fantasy sport. I'm sorry.
I know that's obvious, but I just still wanted to put it out there. Like if you can avoid it.
In sense, here's the danger. They don't have a line. He can get this boy killed this year like Joe Burrow last year. Yeah. Okay. Word to the wise. All right, fellas, we gonna close out with our who you got segment, and of course that's where we get to take a bird's eye view preview at the game of the week. So tonight we got Dallas and Tampa Bay. So let's start out with who you got.
I'm gonna say Tampa Bay. I mean, really, this is a surprise, but I'm gonna say Tampa Bay I'm gonna go with what's on the line, and that's 8 points right now. I think it will be a somewhat of a close game, but Tom will find a way to pull it out and win it. So I'll give it to Tampa Bay by 8.
Wow, you gave a prediction and you said take the points. I like that. All right, Big Rage.
Tampa Bay, double digits. This is not this does not say what I think Dallas is going to do throughout the season, but this is the first time I heard a statistic this afternoon. This will be the first time Dak is getting a hit in 330 days, almost a full year. Plus, he missed all the preseason. So he's got to catch up to real game speed, much less deal with the mental stuff about the ankle, the shoulder. And as we said on our Tuesday show, that Tampa Bay Bucks defense going to be flying around.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, this game could get ugly. And if Dallas keeps it close, hats off. That means they're going to have a real good year.
All right. Okay. All right. I got Tampa. No need to even jump on everything you guys said because you're 100% correct. So since we're a fantasy show, we got to give people top performers tonight. So, of course, I'll start out because I actually have Brady as my quarterback. And, yes, he is starting. That's a no-brainer. I think he'll have a phenomenal game. I'm calling for 4 touchdowns tonight and over 300 yards passing.
I'll say for my top performer, I'll actually give it to the running game. I say Ronald Jones will rush for a little over 100 yards and 1 TD.
Cool.
Unfortunately, a fellow Alabama player is going to have a rough evening. Mr. Diggs, who talked a lot of trash about how good he is.
Yeah, we saw that on their show.
Trust and believe. Brady and them saw that too.
Yeah.
So I think if you got any of the 3 Tampa Bay wide receivers on your roster, play them. I think all of them going to have good games.
Would you say tight end as well? Or
no, I think this is a wide receiver week. I think he's going to try to embarrass their DBs.
Gotcha.
Tom Brady, that kind of dude.
Oh yeah.
He is.
Everybody think Tom Brady that
petty
kind
like
of dude. Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's like the
petty
Jordan of the NFL. He'll find bulletin board material.
That's right. or make it up if he need to.
Exactly.
He was talking about your mama. What you gonna do? Hey, man.
And he gonna point at him once he get him a couple of times.
Right. That's right. If Tom helped me win this league, I just might like him again, or at all, ever. First time in history.
Avocado ice cream.
Yeah. All right, fellas, it's time for us to get out of here. We must thank all of our fans for tuning in. We certainly appreciate you guys. Of course, you know where to find us on our social media, on our Facebook page, our YouTube page, all the podcast and platforms. And of course, you can also reach out to us through any of our email and other outlets such as that. So we're IG, we're Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on, come on, help me out, fellas, because Twitter, there you go. All the major outlets, just holler at us, let us know what you think about the show, give us feedback. And certainly we love it when folks disagree with us. We need some banter to kind of go back and forth with people. Yes. This is fun. This is good. And we're not saying we're always right, but we want to present the facts and opinions to you in the ways that make it fun and they keep the conversation going. So truly tonight, we know the world will be tuning in to the NFL in just about 20 minutes. Enjoy the game tonight, no matter who you with, who you rock with. Have fun, be responsible, and show some love to your fellow humans. God bless you, and peace out.
Football is back, baby.
Yes, sir.
Go for